another edition of our Technician Commitment Update.
And today we are in the National Graphene Institute.
So we said that we'd announced technician commitment across the university to the whole of the 930 technical staff, including EOs and SEOs, so anybody doing technical work within the university. And we've had lots of those meetings, had lots of interest, and now we needed to move to phase 2. And I think we decided that phase 2 really should be defined as getting those interested parties together and helping them define what it is in reality we're going to do. So what are we going to try and attack? Where are the problems? Where are the issues? Split us off into some sorts of groups and find some leaders and just try and move the whole thing forward.
Yep.
Manchester Technician Commitment, we've said that, it's all ours, it's all for them. It's from the ground up, technically produced by technical people, and we'll do the facilitating, we'll make sure it happens. But in fact, it's all for them, it's their work for them.
So the starting point for that was to invite the interested, anybody that expressed any interest, to bring them together to then give them that opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, although it's sounding a bit desperate, anybody that showed any interest gets invited.
Well, people who wanted to contribute, we wanted to give them that opportunity to come along and discuss it and to start the process off.
So we're definitely not dragging people in off the street. So they're people who really wanted to make a difference in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if they didn't.
So we have a group of interested people.
Yep.
And we did invite them to an event before Christmas, late December, which is great because it meant we could actually have a milestone that was met in 2019, getting through phase 1 and into phase 2. So I think that, psychologically that feels nice. In fact, that we've actually done something. Now we're on to phase 2.
Yeah.
And I think phase 2 is probably the most important phase because it's defining the future of what we're doing for Manchester's Technician Commitment.
If you remember the presentation we did, we were talking about giving a sense of some direction but not destination. So this is the start, and I said that in one of the announcements, this is really exciting, you guys, this is where we start to set the destination and to actually give it some sort of sense of purpose as to where it's going to go. And we'll take it slowly and gently, and it can evolve as it goes along, but to have that sort of sense of destination.
So let's say, so it was held in computer science, wasn't it? So it was in Kilburn Building, actually, quite a nice room in Kilburn Building, lent itself very nicely to doing some teamwork. And we went through what was intended to be an hour and a half's meeting, and we thought that might just about see us through, and in actual fact, I think it probably went on at least another half hour, didn't it? And pretty much everyone stayed behind and gave their time to that to make sure we got to a point that we were happy that we left it in, ready for Christmas. And then of course we broke for Christmas. I think that meeting went really well. We were able to define not only where the room's priorities lay that day, although I guess they might change from time to time, and then to split those priorities into groups. So we had groupings. I think we ended up with 5 different groups of activities. And then we even ended up with volunteers. We had people that wanted to actually join those groups and press on and do that work.
Things like communication was a category, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And training was another category. So given a broad sort of correlation into similarities of intent, I think it's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I guess, and that then lends itself to being easier to do because you're doing a group of activities that's probably fit together in Lego terms, loosely fit together. So there's a rub off, if you like, between one activity and the next. Yeah, so I think that's been really useful, and those groups were essentially sent away to go create. So go and create an environment and some ideas and a project proposal, and bring that back to the table to attack some of those ideas we know want attacking.
Once we'd formed those categories and got an idea, we had a list of about 25 different ideas or suggestions. We did something of that order. What we wanted to do was to make sure how they'd fit into the technician commitment aims, the 4 main aims, technician commitment. So visibility, recognition, career development, sustainability, skills. But then we wanted to try and prioritise, and so we tasked the group to try and assess how difficult or easy they would be, not to exclude them on the levels of hardness, levels of difficulty to get there, but just to measure how long it would take and what sort of resource it would take.
Yeah, and just I think to emphasise the point that we're not scared of doing things that appear to be, at least at this time, appear to be difficult or may take a long time. We're up for any of those things actually. So it was just nice to know how easy people thought things were going to be, and which were going to be the difficult ones. And that was interesting, and there was a whole range of answers to that. So obviously some people's experiences thought that some things would be easy and some thought they would be difficult. So I think it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking something hard just because you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So what we promised at that meeting was that there would be an opportunity to have a fortnightly surgery. So that is an opportunity to come and talk about what you're doing in what each of those groups are doing, with Peter or myself. And with those are organised, those are in the diaries now, so people will be actually being invited to those probably today, maybe tomorrow. And that'll be an opportunity to come along and have a chat. So it's not formal, they don't have to turn up every one of those, they can do none if they feel like they're going pretty well.
And I think there's a key element within that, in that we gave everybody the potential to go out and recruit other colleagues that were interested in playing a part in the development of their project.
One of those, I think it's probably worth saying that one of those areas is around communications. This is part of that communication, I suppose, but there will be, hopefully, and it's for that group to decide, a variety of communication channels that gets the message out to everybody, because we know we're not very good at communicating to everybody at the university, and no one has got so far, no one's solved that so far, no one's got the answer. So we have a team of people who are technical staff looking at how to communicate with technical people. So whilst we've said that we already have groups set up, we already have some volunteers who are out there creating right now, it's worth us stressing that isn't the end to the volunteering. Do you want to say something about what would people do now if they decide they want to get involved?
Yeah, it's just the starting point, and we've got some fantastic people with some great ideas, good initiatives, and there's room for plenty of other people to join those groups or to form new groups. So this is a long-term strategy, and we really want people to be able to come in at any time. So if you're watching this and you're really keen to play a part in it, even for a few weeks or a few months or longer than that, then you're really welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And they would do that, I guess, through the technician commitment email.
Yep.
Cue the banner across the bottom of the screen at that point. Why don't we talk a bit about timescales? I think timescales might be something that people would be interested in. It's a question that we get from time to time, no pun intended. And we often say, and I think we're sticking by this, is that the timescales for any of these projects really at this point are sort of largely irrelevant. So we don't really want very short-term projects because they give us an answer straight away. We're quite happy for some easy, quick wins if they're there to be had, but we're in the game for the long game, I would say.
Absolutely, for the complete complement of initiatives. But the time will be denoted by what it is we want to try and achieve, and sometimes it's going to be a long time to achieve something, and sometimes it'll be shorter, but I don't think we should be focused on that. We should be focused on hitting the priorities of what really makes a difference for technicians at Manchester, because after all, it is Manchester's technician commitment is for us here at Manchester.
Yeah. If there was somebody that hadn't been to one of our announcement events and that didn't know what technician commitment was about across the country even, but I'd just heard the words, is there a couple of sentences that would sort of summarise what technician commitment is for Manchester?
It's fundamentally making things better for technicians. I mean, it's as simple as that, really. It's a massive subject and there are loads of opportunities to make a difference, but what would really make a difference to technicians here at Manchester? You know, what the hurdles, what the barriers, what would be the nice to haves? So if you've got an idea, or if you've not, but you want to join people that have got some ideas and want to make it better for technicians at Manchester, this is the thing to be joining. You know, but it's not really about us. It's about technicians at any stage of their career. But there's a mutual benefits. There's mutual benefits for the schools that they support, the faculties they support, and the university as a whole. And I mean, what's your views?
Well, I think what comes across very strong for me is that because it will actually benefit the whole of our technician community, our technical community. When we've talked to deans, for instance, they've been very positive, and they've been very positive because I think they can actually see that although maybe there's a bit of pain along the way in making some of the cultural changes, in actual fact the end point will make it better even for them. So it'll make it better even for the academic community as well doing their research, because we're going to have a better, in some sense, technical workforce. That's it from the National Graphene Institute for this time.
And we will keep you informed, and further updates will follow. Did you look away from the camera then? Oh, but it's natural because it's signing off, isn't it? Yeah.
I'd done my bit. I was looking at you because I was interested.